What is up, everybody? It is Mr. M, and it has been a while. I've had laryngitis, not that any of you really care, but I'm still not completely over it, but I'm the best I've felt in the last couple weeks since I've had it. So if I don't sound as good as I do in any of my other videos, that's why. And I also decided to play some music in the background for this video, playing Cryptasm by Nightfear. I've talked about this in a previous video. Nightfear is in the title of it. It shouldn't be that hard to find. I can't remember which video it was off the top of my head. I didn't video test this before, so hopefully everything sounds good. Hopefully the music's not too loud or too quiet. But anyway, I have a collection video to do, like 8 or 9 CDs here. And this first one is one I probably don't have to say too much about. Megadeth with Countdown to Extinction. This is the 2004 remixed and remastered version. And compared to the original, the remaster does sound pretty good. I only had my dad's borrowed CD of the original copy to compare it to. And the remix version includes demos of Countdown to Extinction, Symphony of Destruction, and Psychotron, as well as Crown of Worms, which was previously unreleased in the United States. These have been out and easily accessible since 2004 when these came out, so that's probably nothing new. Obviously, of course, easily one of Megadeth's best records. Next up is another remaster, The Crusher by Amon Amarth. I hate how they did these first few Amon Amarth reissues with the album cover really small. This one was reissued and remastered in 2009. So my complaints are about 8 years late. Came with an extra song, Eyes of Horror. Amon Amarth, I probably don't have to talk about this one that much either, but melodic death metal, all of their early stuff up until I want to say Cry of the Blackbirds and maybe even Twilight of the Thunder God had some blackened elements to it. And The Crusher wasn't a particularly memorable record. It gets stuck between The Avenger, I forget what record comes after it. I think it might be Fate of Norns. Don't quote me on that. I've seen them live 3 times, and after reading the track list, I don't think that none of the songs look familiar as to any of the songs that they played on the set list. So I'm sure they might have played one, but it's a record that's kind of glossed over. Next up, Danger Days by My Chemical Romance. I talked about this one a bit in my Beloved Missteps and Stinkers video. It is a phenomenal record. It just was not as good as The Black Parade, which is the record that was put out before this. 15 songs. There's a deluxe version. I believe it has upwards of 19. I could be wrong on that one, but it's a concept record. It's like a really wild concept record. But it's a good record nonetheless, and I think now that My Chemical Romance has been broken up for a few years, people are going back to this record, and they're looking at records other than 3 Cheers or The Black Parade, 3 Cheers being the record that came before The Black Parade, and they're seeing how good Danger Days really was, because it was an extremely overlooked record. My cat just walked in, and I hope she doesn't mess up my camera again. Next up is Dark Star and the Right Horn of the Crescent Moon by Blood of Kingu. Season of Mist coming through again and putting that sticker on the jewel case. God damn it. Blood of Kingu, I believe they are from Ukraine. It features members from Drudk, or Drudk, however you pronounce it. I pronounce it Drudk if I'm saying it wrong, and it's pronounced Drudk. Oh well. black metal is not a genre I've particularly listened to a lot, even though I'm wearing a Gehenna shirt. It's pretty good stuff. Drudge is of course one of the best black metal bands, in my opinion anyway. And it definitely, when you're listening to that record, I could see where the influences were coming from with the members being in Drudge. But it's Blood of Kingo is its own thing. I can't really compare it to anything because, like I said, I don't really listen to black metal a whole lot. But for those of you who do, I'm sure you could compare it to some other band pretty easily other than Drudge. Next up is The Word Alive with Dark Matter. This is their fourth record. Their most recent record came out in 2016. Feels like it's been out longer than that, though. I could have sworn I thought this record came out in 2015. But, I feel like this record, even though it's their most recent one, it's not as memorable as their other stuff. I know what they did. The Word Alive was originally a metalcore band, and on this record they went more for a straightforward rock and hard rock sound as opposed to a metalcore sound. There's definitely that metalcore sound in some of the songs, like Trapped and Sell Out, where it's got quite a bit of screaming in it, but there's nothing too memorable about it. Next is Darkness Drips Forth by Hooded Menace. Hold up a sec. This fucking riff. Hopefully you guys can hear it. This riff is fucking killer. Alright, now back to what I was saying. Like I said, I love Nightfear. Hooded Menace, great death doom. If you don't know about Hooded Menace, you're kind of falling behind, I feel like. This is only 4 songs long, however, it is over 40 minutes. I think it's, there's an inside panel that I don't think I showed that one yet. 4 songs, it's close to 45 minutes long, so it's a good length. It's a phenomenal record. And Hooded Menace just announced their newest record within the last couple of weeks or so. And I can't wait for that. I'm pretty stoked on that. Next up is The Days of Grays by Sonata Arctica. I've said it in a few videos now. Symphonic metal is something that I really like. I know some people are really iffy on it, but this is an amazing symphonic metal record. I have not listened to a Sonata Arctica record that I didn't like, because it's all just so good. Next up is a soundtrack from one of my favorite movies, Dazed and Confused. This was put out on the Medicine label. This is an original copy. It was put out 1993, I believe that's when the movie came out too. Don't hold me to that. This features most of the soundtrack. I know the first song, the opening song in the movie, Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, was not on the soundtrack, probably for legal reasons. I don't know the reasons. But you got other bands on here. You got Foghat, Alice Cooper, The Runaways, Black Sabbath, Kiss, Deep Purple, Leonard Skinner, Sweet. If you want to pause right here, you can, or since I'm holding up for kind of a long time, you could look at some of it. Oh, damn it. My cat's getting in my water. My cat's name is Jinx, if any of you give a shit. But, this soundtrack, the movie and the soundtrack, it just fits perfectly together. And I got this at a used bin at a record store for pretty cheap, and it wasn't something I could pass up. I got it for like $2 or something. Next up is Motley Crue with Decade of Decadence. The price sticker is still on there. Their greatest hits records, featuring everything from Too Fast to Love to Dr. Feelgood. as well as a few new songs. I don't think I need to say anything more. It's a greatest hits record. If you haven't listened to Motley Crue, start with that. Although, I'm sure most people that are watching this probably have listened to Motley Crue. And then the last one for this video, before me and my fucking voice go somewhere else, is Decay by Angel Maker. These guys are from Canada. They're a deathcore band. They are definitely one of the better deathcore bands. They got 2 vocalists that switch off vocal duties, and they do a flawless job at it. I got to see them live on the Summer Slaughter tour in August, and they live up to all hype and all expectations were met at that show. They put on an amazing show. They did a headlining tour earlier this year, I believe, and it went all through North America. They did like a 6-week long headlining tour, and they were playing at some pretty big venues too. So I know deathcore is kind of an iffy thing among some people, but if you like deathcore at all, definitely check out Angel Maker. But that's gonna be the end for this video. If some of you got annoyed and clicked off, I wouldn't be surprised. My voice sounds fucking terrible right now. But if you stuck around to the end, thank you. Hopefully I will continue to get better so that I can keep making videos. Because I like making videos. I like talking about music. But thanks for liking and subscribing if you did either of those. If not, that's cool too. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.